On today's episode, we spotlight another powerful athlete and woman from the Twin Cities creating change, making shit happen, and finding beauty and strength. Doesn't come naturally, and Allie is a leader in action. Listen in as we understand the relentless courage, consistent dedication, and unwavering passion to be braver, enough to chase your dreams. Finally, this episode of the Iron Huddle Podcast is sponsored by Torque Strength and Conditioning. Torque Strength and Conditioning is a great place to work out and offers a variety of programs such as Torque GPP, Torque Barbell, Torque Fit, personal coaching and wellness, and youth and teen development. And we hope you enjoyed the podcast.
And we're lucky enough today to have the master of all lifts with us, Miss Allie Palm.
Is that the real introduction?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, what the fuck?
You want to do it again?
I mean, how did you pick that up?
Well, you've done a little bit of everything, right, in your past career. Just briefly, you've done some weightlifting, Olympic weightlifting, some powerlifting, and what haven't you done, really?
A little bit of strongman,
Well, no, it
too.
started with strongman,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Which
usually you don't
is
see that.
fucking awesome, yeah. Starting with strongman.
Yeah, you don't see that
Did
often.
it?
Yeah.
Speak up a little bit,
Okay.
just so we have you. You're probably recording, I just want to make sure. Anthony, edit this out. So, for you, like, where are you at right now? What is your main focus that you're practicing, that you're performing? Is it strongman? Is it Olympic lifting? Where are you right now?
Right now we're with weightlifting.
You're with
And
weightlifting,
Like
okay.
I said, it's been kind of a backwards. I don't know. So with starting with strongman, it was like a lot of strength and a lot of like the grip and rip stuff. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I got really good at that.
Yeah.
But as we progressed, and I kept doing that for a couple of years, like I just realized the technique piece was missing.
Okay.
You know, so we changed focus over the years, and just I don't know. I guess I get bored and need new challenges. So we've hopped around from different practices, but now we're working on weightlifting and really trying to hone in on technique, and it's a beast.
Yeah.
Weightlifting is
Poetry in motion.
It's poetry in motion, and also one day you can be on cloud nine, and the next day you want to commit suicide. It's
Finicky.
just fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I thought that was just me.
Nope. Welcome to the club.
Fuck.
Well, isn't that the one of the biggest mental roadblocks to all that is everything is so technical? And Tyler, you can speak on this being that you coached before, and you did it yourself before you got into the coaching aspect, is that everything's so technical, and yet you got to be so composed, so mentally strong, and not even just in the day that you're competing, but also all the days you're putting in that work to reach that pinnacle, to feel confident enough to step on the stage and compete, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't even got on the stage yet. You know what I mean?
Oh, you
I don't
haven't?
know that I will. No, that's just like.
Why are you
that's
here? No, I'm just kidding.
We talk a lot of shit. No, it is. It's hard. It's one of those things where you put countless hours in for a 2 kilo PR. And it's one of those things too, you have more bad days than good. But that's part of the beauty of it, is you can just keep wailing away with some intent and not trying to kill yourself from the barbell. But when you get that 2 kilo PR, it means the world. But then it's a grind. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy coaching movement in general, but Olympic weightlifting is because you can never perfect a movement. There's always something you can do better at. Yeah, there's always something you can work on. With anything in strength sports, that's true, but I think specifically more so with Olympic weightlifting, because it is, like Nick said, poetry and movement.
Yeah, and even you, Nick, you've gone from powerlifting basis to some strongman stuff a little bit, and now I've seen from your world-class Instagram page that you're also doing some weightlifting. How has that helped with your mobility or anything?
Well, I actually started with weightlifting, then it was powerlifting, and then finally started getting into strongman and training some of the implements. But that's kind of where it started with me. That was my first love, and realized that after 2 shoulder surgeries, I was never going to be a great weightlifter.
Yeah.
But I do love it. It helps me feel athletic, explosive, and it just helps me feel like a more well-rounded athlete.
So back to you, Allie. How did this all begin for you? Were you an athlete in high school or middle school, or kind of where did your athletic career take off within all this?
Yeah, absolutely. So like all through grade school, it all started with synchronized swimming. So this is ironic, right? How do you go from synchronized swimming to strongman? Like, what the fuck? Where's the correlation?
I love it.
But it's actually surprisingly, like, I've been able to draw similarities, and like, I mean, just on the basis of like having discipline and practicing and and all of that, but just and like body awareness. And
I was going to say, it's got to be body awareness and moving your body in space and knowing exactly where you should be at any given time, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I did synchronized swimming all through grade school. I did it, 11 years or whatever, and then I graduated and
So hold on a sec. Back to the synchronized swimming, because it's very unique. So how was that judged? Is it by judges? Is it, I mean, so I think that goes into a lot of like, you think about physique or bodybuilding and all that, you can come in as perfect as your trainer says you are, your coach says you are, but it comes down to those people judging every move you make. So was it tough as a young kid training for all those? And then again, it's tough love getting those second and third place, not first place trophies unless you were an all-star all the time. But how did you were, okay.
It was good.
Okay, too. So how did you react though? Was it purposely doing these motions that you knew a judge was looking for? Or is it something that because you had the body awareness that you just enjoyed and loved doing and performing for it?
I mean, it's kind of fusing the two. So there's obvious, like the stuff that judges will look for, right, with synchronized swimming. The obvious is like synchronization, and then there's technique, like whether someone is vertical or not. You know what I mean? They can judge on that, and nobody can argue with that. And then there's personal preference, and you're not going to please everybody, and we certainly didn't. And but it's kind of finding a compromise between the two. So yeah, you are being judged. You get scores out of 10, you know, and sometimes they're not great.
We're all about getting vertical here. And then with how many people are on a synchronized swimming team?
Yeah, well, a team will be up to 8.
Really?
And then there's like smaller routines too, like solo, duet, trio, 1, 2, and 3.
So you can do a solo, or is that really?
Where do the judges sit?
Where do they sit? On the side of the pool.
Oh,
yeah, sometimes they're elevated depending. Yeah.
What's the scoring system? Like at 0, they hold up a card afterwards, like 0 to 10, or how do they do it? Privately, or
not for routines? Like if they're like handwritten.
Sorry. 10.
Like the dunk
Give me a
time.
fucking 10.
I gave it a 9.5. I still got one.
Varsity Blues?
No?
Nope. Okay.
No, okay.
Never mind.
Allie's like, let me talk.
As soon as she said that, I'm like, someone go for it.
I went there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's out of 10. There are scorecards
Okay.
for like one
Okay.
component of it, but yeah, you're judged technically and artistically.
Yeah. And then were you guys, speaking of artistically, do you all walk in with the same matching suits and all that stuff as well? Or?
Absolutely. Like,
Okay.
they're ridiculous. Yeah. Like, the crazy makeup and the crazy faces, everything you see. Like,
Makeup to
you
go in the pool?
Yeah.
Wow. And were they extremely expensive as well to buy the synchronized suits and
I
everything?
suppose, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A couple hundred.
And then, so from there, sorry to cut you off, you were talking about, we had to break that down because we haven't heard that yet. And that's pretty, did you grow up in Minnesota?
Insanely new to us.
So I imagine it's probably a pretty big sport still in the state that I just was unaware of on our, part not knowing. But
I mean, they're varsity programs, so there's like 12 in the state.
Okay.
Mostly in the metro area.
Okay, so it's pretty unique then. Very cool. And then did you do that through high school, or where did you kind of go to from there?
So I did it all the way through high school and then went to college and had different priorities.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
You did?
Right? Or AKA no priorities.
Yeah.
But no, so I did, I went to school then for 4 years and then came back here to Minneapolis.
You did.
And
Where'd you go to school, by the way, or what state would you go to?
yeah, I went to Madison.
Okay, fun. What'd you go to school there for?
Communications.
Oh, wow, okay. That's why we brought you on.
Yeah, so then I've been coaching now since I moved back to Minneapolis. So I coach synchronized swimming.
You do? Oh, okay. That's awesome. Wow. And so is that because it's something obviously you've experienced with, but was it a passion of yours to give back? Kind of what brought you back to the sport?
Absolutely. So, I like it, it's so like deeply rooted in me. Like that was like my first passion. I was like really dedicated to it all, for those 10, 11 years. So, it's awesome to come back and with different life experiences, making sure that, absolutely give back to like high school age girls. I think that it's like a really crucial time in their life. So as a coach, I think you have an amazing responsibility and opportunity to positively impact them. So that's what I try to do when I'm at the pool.
That's great. It's something I think you passed over there really fast, which I think we've all been a part of a different sport. We grew up in our lives, whatever we're passionate about, could be art, could be whatever, but when you said those 10 or 11 years, think about that. That's a long time.
Long fucking
Without
time,
even, sometimes it's not even your decision at a young kid, but consciously it starts to be almost everything you care about as a child growing up into different elementary, middle school, high school years. And it's kind of funny, you think then in life you gotta forget everything and move on to something else. But it's funny how a lot of times it brings all of us back into what that first kind of, passion we had outside of watching cartoons was, right? It was.
No, absolutely. And I think that too, so you did it for 10, 11 years and then took a couple years off and then kind of like reintroducing like that passion to my life. I was able to do that with strength training. So I found something else. Like I wasn't necessarily going to get back in the water and swim again. I tried for a year. It was awesome. It was, fun, but it wasn't the same. But as I started to get more serious with strength training and like with the different disciplines, like it kind of relit that passion within me. So I'm able to still kind of like get that fulfillment that I had all growing up, and like be able to accomplish a lot of things. It's just like in a different way.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how do you find coaching now, relating to the experiences you had as an athlete growing up in that sport? Is it how do you relate to that? Are you seeing yourself in these athletes? Are you, because you know the struggles they're going through? I mean, is it easier because you obviously been through the sport that you're passionate? But what are the strengths that you find that you gain from coaching these girls?
What do I gain personally from it?
Yeah.
Or,
What are you experiencing?
I guess I don't understand the question.
It's a
Rephrase
tough
it.
question.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, you know, if I go back and I'm coaching baseball and I can see a kid struggling, picking up bouncers at third base, right? Nick, you've been through all that. Or if I'm coaching a kid coming out of a stance in football or whatever, like, you're able to pick up on that. You coach them through what worked for you. It's not always necessarily work for that kid, but you can just give different pointers and whatnot.
Yeah, you remember where you were at when you were when somebody was trying to coach that to you, you know, what that felt like.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm definitely like more receptive. You know, what they're going through. You'll see some girls struggling or talking negatively about themselves, or you know, and they start to internalize different things. So I think that then again, as a coach, like I want to make sure to provide a positive reinforcement.
You have empathy for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do as a coach.
Yeah.
All the time, no matter what sport it is, something to always say, well, that sucks. It's like you're focusing on maybe the 1% thing that really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of athletes are too hard on themselves, no matter what the sport.
And that's a great point that y'all said there, because besides just the technical aspects of it, is, I mean, imagine how emotional everything's going on when you're that age and your body's changing. And for you to have an understanding of kind of what they're going through, you're not going to know the details, but like you said, bringing positivity is all about what coaching is now. Because when you're that age, there is someone you're looking up to that they may have no idea what impact they made on you.
Yeah. And
you coming back, you're trying to relate to, like, oh, I remember I was having a tough time, and that coach just kind of gave me the inspiration to believe myself, and that goes such a long way.
Well, you don't know what happened that day. Exactly. That kid's dog shit could have died, grandma, or whatever. They just woke up with a rock under their shoes, so they're mad as hell. That happens to us as adults, and you know damn well that can throw you off track. So for kids, it's way worse.
Absolutely. I feel like you have like that 2 hours of practice a day that, regardless of what's going outside of the pool or going on outside of the pool or school or whatever, like to just be able to give them like those 2 hours to like have fun, but also like feel good about themselves, feel empowered, feel strong. I feel like that's an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, I give you like credit for that, because a lot of times people look at high school sports and they're kind of like, whatever, they move on, or it's all about college and pros these days because of the betting and the intensity. But you think about the pure passion of where competition might be at its best, just at that pure stage. It's a lot of times in high school. So giving
going back to that, there's a movie, a documentary, hopefully you've seen it on HBO. It's about how NCAA should pay their athletes, which I think us three can relate. You know, we didn't play in the Big Ten, but you know how many hours we put in and everything else. But there's a coach, where did he coach at? It's a Big East school or something. But anyways, he got let go because he spoke out about saying how kids should get paid. And no one would hire him. He was a D1 coach for like 20 years. No one would touch him.
For what sport?
Football. He's now coaching at his local high school, and he's like, I love it again. He's like, it's the most purest form.
Yeah.
He's like, there's nothing about money. It's nothing. It's just, let's just play some fucking football.
Yeah.
So I think it's like that, and I think for me personally, like, I found that more in college.
Yeah.
But we can all relate to, there's no politics, nothing. It's just you're there to have fun with your friends and do something special. So I think that goes back into high school. Sports are the most purest form of sport.
And they all hit you at different times. You grow as a person, and you're at different stages. But yeah, absolutely. But you didn't get paid in college?
No.
Yeah, you're in the wrong program.
Didn't we go to college together?
Yeah. I was in the pizza program.
Yeah, he's on a scholarship.
Oh, that's right.
So then where did you go after, you came back, you kind of, you had your great experience in college, did your own thing. I think we all go through that, right? Whether you're in sports, you're still in it, you come back trying to find your way again. What got you back into the athletic scene after college?
Absolutely. So my first real job out of school, I actually helped open a full-service health and fitness facility in downtown East. So I was able to work alongside trainers and kind of get re-exposed to fitness, but also chiropractors, acupuncturists, and massage therapists. So I kind of started to I learned a lot from them and started like just again like being exposed to like fitness and wellness and taking care of your body again. So I think after those 4 years of school and a little bit thereafter, like it kind of helped me transition into a much more healthy lifestyle. And so with that, that's actually how I ended up at Horsepower now too, is because the manager that I was working for at the facility had been training with him. So she's like, you need to check this out. She paid for my first month of training there, and I've only missed like 1 day of training since. And that's literally
That's awesome.
That's huge, yeah.
Yeah, so I fucking loved it, and I did right away, and so it all kind of came full circle there, and then.
So was this a health clinic, you said? Where everything was a one-stop shop, it sounds like, between, okay.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And that must have been before its time, because I think now you see a lot of places popping up, and they're trying to create that environment where you have whether it's a sports performance training center or weight room with a chiropractor and massage therapy, and what else was there? Acupuncture, all that made up stuff. But they have it. They have it all. It's good if you apply it. So they have it all. I mean, it seems like it's the trend. Look at the training house, the Vikings' new facility, right?
Oh yeah, and they're even incorporating like sports psychologists, the mental game into it now too.
Yeah, that's huge. And even you here, Tyler, at Torque Strength Conditioning, you have some of your members who are also in that field, and they provide some services, right?
Yeah. We have one of our coaches is a physical therapist, and he just comes in when needed or refer things. Because a lot of times we'll get athletes outside of the gym to come in, and they've already had pain before they even work out. Don't get me wrong, things happen, but our injury rates are really good. But we also have like Tucker, he's an athletic trainer.
Yeah.
So we had an athlete who passed out on a clean. It was on Instagram, had like 20,000 likes or something like that. But it was just so happened, luckily Tucker was right there.
Jim's got to be known for something.
Oh man, yeah, right. But I want to hear a ginger snap.
The great Simona does massages.
Oh yes, and then we have another coach. She does massages as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we do have some in-house things.
Yeah.
I try not to have too much. I mean, this is my own personal thing. To me, it kind of speaks to like if you have all those services in-house, what are you saying?
Oh, like that they're needed, or
That they're needed.
Yeah.
Sorry, so that's my belief. Don't get me wrong, they are, but I think movement first of all fixes all. But at the same time, if you're going to play stuff or do stuff for performance, like weightlifting, football, whatever, you are going to push your body to a point, and you do need
at
those.
its highest levels, doesn't matter what it is not healthy for people.
Exactly.
Well, or you think about people who come into the sports performance, or if you want to call it, like movements, what stage they come into it. If they've been doing anything for a long time, they're apt to it. They're going to adapt.
Yep.
They know how to mentally and physically, but you grab someone who, different stage of their life, they're going to be I think, more in need of those services, right?
For sure. You get someone who's like been, because we have people who are really competitive at high levels here, any sport, and then we'll have someone who walks in who's like, I've never worked out, I'm 45. Man, I got my work fucking cut out for me. So yeah, they have bumps and bruises along the way because they haven't moved.
Yeah.
So it's hard. So
here's one thing that I will say, and I'm going to argue with you only that obviously movement cures all, right? So a lot of these, like chiropractic and acupuncture, I mean, they are essentially bringing the body back into balance. It's almost like an extension of movement. It's not adding anything else in, you know what I mean? It's helping the body function optimally on its own. And so it's almost, I feel like there is a...
Building it back together.
Yeah, no, it does go hand in hand. I would agree. Yeah. It's just to a certain point. Like, I just don't want people, like, usually you just don't want to have a crutch.
Yeah, I think it has its place,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Because no matter what you do, things slip up, things happen. And those people are experts at what they do, and they can help bring people back faster.
Yep.
And I think the thing that we're all chasing is how do we prevent that from happening in the first place? Not to say that we're trying to cut those people out, but
There's definitely
just trying to figure out, how can we prevent the cause of an injury, or how can we prevent the cause of dysfunction?
Yeah, because there becomes this vicious cycle of like, oh, I hurt my back again. You go to a chiropractor for 6 weeks. I'm not going to lift. Why don't we look at what the actual fucking problem is?
That's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah. I'm going far right on this one, but but it can be little things too. Where all of a sudden people, they want to be in that safe place of going to these things rather than like, why don't we look at the actual issue here and try to address it?
Well, there is new information coming out too, and new techniques and whatnot. I think one of the most popular ones right now, most effective, is the Ripper or RPR. How do you pronounce it, Nick?
Ripper. The rip move?
Nice plug, Tony.
Is it the RPR, Nick Tab? Nick kind of thick?
Just hitting the light switch, man.
There you go. But you and Abby do that, right? And it's before, it's like a pre-lift, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is like the muscles all over the body have light switches, and just so happens that the light switch for the glutes is behind your ear and on the back of your head, same kind of thing though.
Don't try it at home, kids.
Don't try this at home.
So you're essentially activating, the body get ready to hopefully accelerate those motions you're going to go lift with.
Yeah, and
Waking
hopefully we can iron out those inefficient movement patterns or those dysfunctional movement patterns before you have the chance to use them and embed them more.
Okay, so back to you, Allie. So you were lucky enough to be kind of like the forefront of these one-stop shops coming up, which were obviously needed and kind of the forefront of that. So then you said they brought you to horsepower training from there?
Well, yeah, so the owner of the facility, she had been training there. And so she, just like I said, paid for my first month, and then I haven't left since. So.
And this is in Fridley, right?
Horsepower is, yes.
Okay, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And what type of movements or training were you doing when you first went there? Was it weightlifting or what was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's the owner there, and there's only one trainer. It's Matt Miller, and he does everything. So we started
just him by himself.
It's only him.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
One man show.
Okay.
It was. I would say standard strength and conditioning. We absolutely did both. We did heavy lifting, but then
That's
a
awesome.
shit ton of conditioning and agility work, and we'd run sprints too. So it was kind of he hybridized everything until we got decided we were going to start training for strongman or powerlifting. Then we started to specialize in it, but it was more so just building athleticism.
Okay.
That's what he does.
I like
So,
that.
how long have you been doing that for now?
Yeah, about 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
that. Yeah.
Okay, and then
It's a long time.
I've seen and for you, so you talked about earlier, you've gone between weightlifting and strongman competition stuff. Have you also done any type of bodybuilding, physique building, or anything like that, or just naturally have you just gotten to that physique because of all the lifting you've done and conditioning?
Yeah, just strength sports. I haven't.
Very cool.
I haven't necessarily wanted to do that yet. I want to build my body for strength and for all functional purposes and let it take the shape that it wants.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done.
Well, I think that's a good way to approach it as well. I think a lot of times we are very critical of our bodies and our types and our structures. And did you come in to training after college at that point? Were you already in pretty good shape at the time, or have you gradually grown into the chiseled piece you are now?
No, I didn't. You're making me sound better.
Yeah, no, if I had the confidence to wear those sweatpants, I would. Ladies, my bad.
That's what those are?
No, that was definitely that was a progression as well,
Okay.
just as we got more serious with the training. And I made so many lifestyle changes because of the training as well.
Yeah.
So I hate when people say it's a lifestyle, but no, it's really helped add structure to my life outside of the gym too. Okay.
And think about that. You said 4.5 years. You missed one day that you can recall. That's amazing. You think about whether that law is 10,000 hours to gain anything, or like you were talking earlier, 10, 11 years as a kid, because naturally just growing up and doing it. To make a conscious effort, though, at this age and where you are, to continue to go back and find those structures is really important. I think a lot of people try to get the shortcut a lot of times and get to their goal in 6 months, and they take 3-4 months off and might come back again.
Don't get me and Nick started on that. Why haven't I PR'd? How long have you been doing this? Sorry.
You get the newbie gains, and then you got to grind for them.
Thank you. Yep, it just doesn't happen.
So you did some strongman events initially, right? Whether it was back at Madison, or where I think they did the not Madison.
No training when we were there, just partying.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say that's why. As soon as you said I went to college in Madison, I'm like, all right.
Where did you get strongman? Was it in Stillwater you did strongman stuff?
Well, no. So after I moved back to Minneapolis, and I started training at Horsepower. I trained there for a year, and we were just kind of doing the standard strength and conditioning. And then some people at our gym were doing a strongman competition in the area, so we went to check it out. And then afterwards, Matt's like, "Allie, you could totally do this." I'm like, "What?" I didn't necessarily even want to. It's not necessarily the most initially appealing thing when you had never seen it before. But I was like, "Shit, maybe we should." So we trained, I don't know, like 5 months or something like that.
Holy
And
cow,
then
that's awesome.
we started competing, and I did strongman for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
But not like super like standard strongman training either. It was still like horsepower style. Like
Sure.
I was still fucking sprinting and like
Yeah.
so it's probably ironic to some, like what the hell is she doing? Why isn't she lifting stones every day? I don't know. I don't
No, I don't know.
Exactly.
I've seen some good results. I've seen some good results with athletes doing sprints and stuff because you build up their hamstrings so well. So I mean, yeah, I think if you look at maybe the why you do something, it doesn't have to be cardio based just because you're doing sprints. So I'd agree with that. I think that's awesome.
Just kept me functional too. Like I feel
Well,
like
yeah,
I was
absolutely.
stones
You
every
probably
day.
recovered well because of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And putting yourself in uncommon positions and uncomfortable to force your body to, like, guess what? You're going to be hurting next day, but you're going to recover so much better and regain that strength.
Yeah.
And then for you, I think in the last couple of years, strongman competitions have grown, especially with women involved. And it sounds like you might have been involved in that before it started getting popular a little bit. So like you might have been on the leading front of that as well and taken the
You
courage to
started
do
the
that.
movement.
So starting the courage to do that is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily know about that, but
Yeah.
I think that at least locally, it seems like it's gotten bigger. I'm hearing about it
Absolutely.
a lot more. So we
Yeah.
just decided to do it and roll with it for a couple of years, and it was fun.
We did a live feed from it. You can check on our Facebook page. You guys want to go check it out. But we did a live feed a few months back, and I was totally blown away
So
by
was
how
I,
many
yeah.
female athletes were there.
Yeah.
They
It
were
was
badass.
really, it was
They
awesome.
were fucking strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've
That's
been lucky
really
enough.
fun.
to
I'm
have
pretty
female-
impressed with how every strength sport in Minnesota, like, I know it's happening nationally, but I think especially
Yeah.
here for the Midwest of Minnesota, things
Yeah.
are just blown up.
We got to do something to get outside of the snow, right? That's probably a large part of it.
There's nothing else to do besides drink whiskey and lift shit. So
But yeah, it's just cool to see that you were part of that at the beginning of it too. And then, so you transitioned back now into the Olympic weightlifting, you said?
Yeah, it kind of worked that I just, like I said, I wasn't training events or like implements that often. So then we moved to powerlifting because it was a little bit easier to train for, more like barbell work. We could do that at the gym, and
Yeah.
I felt like then I could at least be like a little bit more consistent. And so we did powerlifting for like a year, and then now, like I said, we just decided to go to weightlifting. See
Okay.
what's next. I don't know.
That's great. So for you, would you say, what are your strengths when it comes to whether it's strongman or weightlifting? Is it the overhead movements? Is it what's something that you find is your strengths when it comes to those sports?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always been really good at pressing
Okay.
since day one, and I don't. I enjoy it, so
Yeah.
I enjoy training in it.
Overhead pressing or?
Overhead pressing.
Okay.
Yeah, anything overhead, to be honest. Like I'll fucking overhead squat every day.
Really?
I don't know. That's where I prefer to hold the barbell for some reason, rather
Yeah.
than on my back. I don't know, but.
Maybe
yeah.
it goes back to your synchronized swimming with your hands above your head, and you felt the lack in shoulder mobility
I
strength.
have insane
Honestly.
mobility.
I saw
Yeah.
you doing a pretty wicked circuit on Instagram the other day where you're doing like push presses and overhead carries or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Gosh.
that would break me.
My shoulders would be fried.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I've seen you do dumbbell presses. He's got weak ass delts. Crushed him with 35s.
I just feel like you knocked him out the video game.
like Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly.
I just red turtled your ass, or red shelled you.
Yeah, and so what would be so those are your strengths, so your overhead pressing and all that. So what would be your weaknesses that you are trying to work on, if you have any?
Yeah, like the technique, in everything, and even in powerlifting, I feel like there's I don't know why. How can I overhead press a shit ton, but my bench sucks? Maybe you guys can tell me I don't fucking know how to bench, but I can press so much over my head because maybe I'm not using my legs or something, right?
Well, sure.
We can
Said-
totally do a coaching
We
thing
should
after
definitely
We
this.
can do one after.
We're gonna
this.
find your lats and pecs
We're not going to change
and make
anything
them
that
cry.
Matt's done with you guys or anything, but it's Matt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to change anything he's done, but we can give you a little tutorial
Yeah.
here and try to bring your pecs to show and get you some big bench. So that's funny. So you can squat good, you can deadlift well and everything, you can move. Just the bench you struggle with?
I think the deadlift came just from doing strongman for so
Oh,
long.
yeah,
so now it's
absolutely.
easy
Yeah,
to
picking things up.
I think bench it kind of takes a lot of girls a while.
Yeah.
Like, it really does. The only time I see girls who can bench well, it's like, oh, what was your background? You're built like a gymnast. And then they're like, yeah. That's about the only one.
Or like throwers.
Throwers, yeah. That's a big one, but I think it just takes them longer.
Well, yeah, women generally have less upper body strength.
Well, yeah, you don't have the
in
receptors
general.
men have.
I don't believe that.
You're born with less muscle. It's just genetically how you kind of are. It's going to take longer for it to build.
So what is one of your favorite things about training horsepower right now? Is it between the weightlifting and the strongman training, a lot of that is like a good minute or two worth of cardio, whether you're carrying something, pulling something, pushing something. Is there anything in those medleys that you really enjoy doing because it's great for cardio when you're actually doing something purposefully?
Yeah.
What kind of movements do you like there that are different than normal?
I don't know. It depends on the day.
Yeah.
It depends on what's going on, how
Okay.
my body is feeling, how my lungs are. I guess I just enjoy the variety there in general. A lot of times you never know what he's going to throw at you, and I feel like at this point you could throw anything, and he's probably the only person that would tell me to do some crazy shit. Like one time we had to run like 18 200s. Like why did I do it? I don't know, but I did.
Oh.
So I wouldn't do that if anybody else told me.
18. Yeah. Now, was that to
Perfect
test you?
athlete.
Was it a mental strength to see A, if you could do it, and B, if you could survive it, and C, if you were mentally strong enough to overcome it?
To be honest, like I don't know if that was his intention in the beginning, but it was like
Yeah.
after getting through, because there was some programming where we built up to that. We didn't start with 18; it was like 12, and then each week you knew more were coming. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck. But there was like a crazy amount of growth and mental grit that happened at the end of that, and like it almost was like things like just shifted completely, and
Yeah.
I was
That's so cool.
such
It
a stronger
is.
athlete once I got through that. Yeah.
Within that training of those 200s, was it always after the workout? Was it before the workout? How did it, because that's going to challenge you too in
It was
different
right at
times.
the end.
Yeah. Okay, so what was your conditioning? Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So then, what type of atmosphere and environment are you training in? When you're training there at your place you love to go to, it sounds like you've built a great culture there, or there's been a great culture built by Matt. So is it you training alone with him? Is it a group that you're working with every day? How does a culture, what is it like there?
So it's like individualized group training. I'm sorry, individualized training in a group setting.
Okay.
So you're on your own program there. He's like there to spot you and tell you what to do. But there's other people there doing their own thing too.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're not all doing the exact same thing?
No, I don't.
But-
I would never do that kind
Yeah.
of. The group class shit.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to do
yeah.
step aerobics?
Or I don't know. Or like.
Wait, didn't you grow up in synchronized swimming? I'm just kidding. Okay. So you talked about how it's brought you structure to your life and how it's helped you create all of that in your foundation. Can you talk about some of the things that going to horsepower, getting back into athletic movements again, what it's done for you and how it's created that and what those are?
Absolutely. So I feel like when I ended up there, I was like at a point in my life, I don't know, I was like 25 or 26. You're kind of like,
Yeah.
you're an adult, but not really. So things could have gone many ways.
Sure.
And so I would say that it just, literally structure, like having to get up and train, you had to make different decisions at night the day before. And as I got more serious and interested in it, you just realize, like, what am I doing outside of training? Like, is it helping me or is it hurting me? And like, I think one of the biggest decisions that I made that really kind of changed my life because of training was like sobriety. So I just completely eliminated drinking, and it was like a snowball effect. So I started training, I loved it, I was feeling good, and I just decided I wanted to do things that would positively impact my training and again like feed into the feel good vibe. And so getting rid of the drinking, and then like that snowballed into just much better self-care and making better choices, like even as far as like relationships go, and self-respect. And so it was just like a snowballing effect of positive things, and it all really started with just like finding myself through training.
That's
my
awesome.
passion. Yeah.
So it sounds like the foundation of the strength training absolutely helped you get I guess sober. How bad was the alcohol a problem, or was it just like a Thursday through Friday type thing?
Yeah.
Or what was it like for you? And how hard was it to overcome it? Was it a long process? Was it cold turkey? What was that like?
It was cold turkey, but it really wasn't, because again I was like started to just it seemed pretty organic. It was just like it just makes sense for what to do. And for a while I didn't even want to use the term sobriety, because it wasn't like I was getting drugs and like in treatment or anything like that. But at the same time, when it's like you think everything you do in your livelihood revolves around booze, like what the fuck? Like I'd argue that that's questionably it's not a good thing. So how bad was it? I don't know. It was frequent enough. Yeah.
But it's great that you made the change and found the foundation of strength. So then with that change, A couple of questions here, but first, obviously, did you find your energy levels and recovery levels able to just, after a little while, just so much better?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt better in general. You have so much more clarity. You start to feel things more deeply, and yeah, it was just part of the snowball effect of feeling better.
And did that also kind of spark your mind to other places, like, hey, maybe I should start eating these really healthy foods now because
Yeah.
you're not making the bad choices when you're out drunk, right?
Oh, yeah, like just taking care of your body and all, from all respects. Yeah.
Okay, and then with that, like giving up alcohol, especially at 25, 26, is not easy because you have a culture of friends, different influences. How did your social life change at that point? Did everyone kind of just push you out? Were people calling you out? Were people supportive? Did you kind of just keep yourself focused on your goals and didn't really care what's happening around you? And since then, how has everything kind of come full circle for you?
Totally. I mean, it was like super lonely right away, and it was more like I stayed focused on my goals, and it was my choice, and I never really had bad feedback from anybody else, but it was really lonely. Like all I really did for the first year or two was train. I lived in a studio apartment. I didn't even have a TV. I don't even know what the hell I was doing, but I was training, and it was like keeping me on track. And
That's awesome.
And I never questioned it. I never wanted to pick up the drink either. It was, but it was lonely, and it was like rediscovering your your identity, because for so long, your social life kind of is who you are in college and thereafter. So it was like fucking starting from nothing. And so I kind of used training to then recreate myself, build me back up. Yeah.
Well, the cool part of that too is you proved yourself that you could do it, right? And you put yourself in a setting where maybe I feel like you had to put yourself, maybe you didn't have to, but you fell into a situation where it was almost like it was exactly what you needed when you're, like you said, you're in a studio apartment, you're no TV, you're kind of doing your own thing, where if you live some lavish lifestyle, you may never have given yourself as much credit to do what you did.
Yeah.
So the fact you kind of earned it slowly like that was really cool.
And I think it was completely subconscious too. I wasn't. It wasn't even intentional. It was just like choices I was making, and you make it through. It's lonely. It's, I don't know.
But it's rewarding at the same time, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because you may not have a crowd around you cheering you on, but because you were making the decisive efforts to do every decision that you wanted to, and you were following through. That's huge.
Yeah, and I still felt so much better at the end of the day. There was no more I don't know, waking up being like, oh shit, you know, or feeling like shit. All of that was gone. So chilling at home at 8 o'clock on a Friday night wasn't so bad, because I was fucking happy and feeling good, and I was working out the next morning. So it was,
Absolutely. So within that then, what do you do now for what is your choice of nutrition? You super big in any sort of program? What keeps you kind of fueled for all these workouts? What works for Allie Palm?
To be honest, now I'm super lax with it, because I haven't competed now since last fall. When I was competing in strongman regularly, and I did those 2 years of, I feel like a competition every couple of months, I kept things a lot more rigid because I was making a weight class. I don't know how the fuck I was 132 pounds, but I did that for 2 years.
Good for you.
With minimal cuts and stuff like that. Again, that was at the not the where my life was super chill. So again, it was easy. And then so yeah, I did that for a couple of years, and I was always been kind of a high protein, low carb kind of person.
Absolutely.
Carbs make my stomach hurt. Make digestive things go on.
I got you.
You know what I mean? What are you gonna say? Am I wrong?
No, I was just saying bad stuff.
No, sometimes everyone's body's way different when it comes to that. Seriously, I know for myself, there's certain, I can't even drink certain whey proteins anymore.
Well, you know what we should all do? I know there's a test. It's expensive. It's probably worth it in the long run of our lives, but there's a test you can get for, I think it's $1,000, $1,500, that you can actually go and they'll test your blood, I think it is, and figure out what foods will, I don't know what the percentage is, but they either A, make you sick, or B, you're...
Yeah, they're graded on a level.
Yeah.
Sensitivity testing?
Yeah.
It's really, I think you can do it online, send a sample of your hair. I'm not sure how exact it is, but there's ones where it'll actually be a little more costly.
They're usually blood tests. You can do them at a few of the global gyms in the area, but you can find some places online too.
I just like what Stan said. I know he said someone asked a question like, how do you know if you shouldn't eat a food? He goes, an hour after.
Yeah, that's how you know.
That's how you know. There's certain, you know then, like,
yeah.
all of a sudden you're like, well, I guess I shouldn't fucking eat that.
So Taco Bell says, but speak to that, to change, just, we'll get back to you here, Allie, but on this food topic thing, the hour afterwards, I don't know if you guys watched one of Brian Shaw's latest videos he had on YouTube. He did, fans love when he does a big eating challenge. So the most recent one, he went and tried to eat the whole Taco Bell menu.
Oh my God.
It was awesome. He pretty much bought everything in the menu, and like 2 or 3 of everything. It was crazy. And he goes back home and he eats everything. And I don't think he said he's eating Taco Bell since like high school. And he's got to be late 30s. Yeah. So he's like
so
eating
sick.
this stuff, and it just, his reaction was the best. Just like, I don't even know what I'm eating, guys. It's like, what is this? Oh, the smell and the taste. And you know how it is. Like, it's all gushy, and you really don't know sometimes.
No, you're like,
you order one thing, and then I
Tastes
think
good,
he
though.
pretty much.
It is kind of good.
Oh, it can be, yeah.
Nacho
it can
cheese
be
on
good.
everything.
Yeah.
Nacho cheese,
I like
man.
those Cinnabon things.
Those are amazing.
Ooh, those
Yeah.
apple and
So
piñata
warm and
things.
gooey on the inside.
Yes.
Yes.
But if you get a chance, go ahead and watch it. It's entertaining, just because you see he's trying to put down everything. And he's so determined, but he just can't do some of them.
Have you guys ever done that? Like, I know me and some buddies, some coworkers back when I lived in Iowa did a calorie contest. So we went to Burger King. I ate 10,000 calories in like 2 hours. I was sick for like 3 days.
That's a normal
from all
stop burger.
from all this.
Yeah, honestly.
Come on,
routine.
you're like,
Yeah.
buddy, that's amateur
Yeah,
hour, dude. No, I was sick for like 3 days. I was like hungover, bloated all at the same time. It was the worst. I don't know how people eat that shit.
I tried to eat healthy once. Bought a Marie calendar and brought it to work the next day. I had food poisoning for 3 days. Never again.
Oh shit.
How about you? Any food beside carbs at any
Oh,
food
and I should
stories?
say
or-
carbs. That sounds like super.
Yeah, what about like
unaware.
donuts and like cereal and like what kind of carbs? All
Those
kind
are
of
the
carbs?
ones that'll make me feel shitty.
Oh,
The
okay.
Because
sugary
I'll
ones?
still do
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yeah,
See,
like,
like,
I
okay.
love like granola and popcorn, but like I'll eat it.
So what
There
about
you
like
go.
rice or sweet potatoes? Like things that are really
Those ones
too?
are rough too.
Those are rough and like bread and pasta. Like I.
So are
Oh,
you
yeah.
pretty much
So-
like keto style almost?
Yeah,
then,
what
or
kind of
just
carbs
low carb?
do you do if you do any?
Veggies.
Veggies?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Any specific
fiber
type that you can
mostly.
have
And some
versus?
fruits are bad too for my gut.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
shit.
fruits, by the way?
Apples. Does that
oh
mean
yeah.
anyone else?
No, I think that's pretty common though.
Oh.
Because of the acidic level or something? Because
I don't know. I've just heard
Yeah.
things about apples and like the bowels
The
and
bowels.
digestive issues. Yeah.
Dude, tomatoes.
I don't need tomatoes.
Oh, for me, sorry.
Yeah, they're pretty acidic too. I mean,
Yeah.
iron, yeah, that can.
Yeah, if
help,
I eat spaghetti,
definitely.
not good.
Spaghetti.
Yeah. All the tomatoes.
Spaghetti. We did take the milk challenge once in high school.
Oh, were you drinking
gallon
gallon
of
of milk?
We got it, but then
Yeah.
we all puked like 5 minutes
Oh
later.
man, we did the same
Like
shit. It's hilarious.
exorcism puke. Like did
Oh,
you,
it was good.
Oh.
you gotta measure how far it goes after puke like that. It doesn't happen.
And then
like
you,
that.
then after that, you start like, why did we try that?
Dude, I have a buddy in high school. He's a cop now. I won't name his name, McCarty.
Well,
He
that's-
did that. He did that in high school, and in the we call it the Commons, and he puked his brains out everywhere.
You did it at school.
What's that?
You did it at school.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And we had one of my buddies. He's a
Was
heavyweight.
that in? Hang on a second before we go on.
Yeah.
Where'd you get a gallon of milk at school? Was that in like? Did
No,
you
no,
guys
we
rip
just,
open
well, at that
cartons?
time, we had the
did the
seniors, you could
cartons?
leave.
Oh, okay.
So he went to, I think, just
Okay.
gas station, throw it, or that, or brought one from home. No McCarty, he just
It'd
came
been way
plant-
cooler if you just
Oh.
opened up so many cartons.
just measured, and I'm going to down like 40 of these. No, it wasn't straight up actual
Matthew
gallon.
couldn't.
Well, our heavyweight wrestler that I graduated with, he did it. He didn't puke. He finished it.
That's impressive.
Yeah, he was a big boy, though.
But did he try
Landfill.
chocolate milk after that?
Dude, I did half a gallon chocolate milk after being hungover.
Yeah.
Actually, pretty good. Felt good after that.
And that's why she's a drinking.
It's like, that's the cure, a shower and half a gallon of
All
chocolate
right.
milk.
So veggies. What do you like for protein? What's your go-tos for protein?
Chicken because it's easy.
You like chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do for fats then? Because veggies and protein, or veggies and chicken is super low fat.
Like lately, I've been eating a lot of cheese.
Okay.
I mean, I still eat like avocados every day, cheese, avocados, and all different oils. But like I said, I'm not even like rigid right now, and it's actually kind of liberating. Like
Yeah, it feels
right
so
now I'm
good.
just eating. Yeah.
So what's
Yeah.
your favorite cheat meal? Cheat meals or what junk food places, fast food places?
I like Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
Not Taco
Yeah.
Bell Mexican.
Yeah.
Like
the good
legit.
stuff.
The good shit.
Like the
I want
queso
a steak
cheese
fajita,
with chips.
a steak. I fucking love steak.
You like
I would eat
margaritas?
steak every day if I could.
Wow, you
Why-
should come over
well, why
in
don't
summer
you?
sometime. We have grills out here all the time.
Yeah, we have grills, steak.
Yeah.
I eat steak every day.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I love steak. Yeah.
that's awesome. So then let's talk about some of your recovery with this right here outside of lifting. So you go in there and you demolish your body. Well, beside, what's some of your other techniques that may have not touched on beside, with eating even or sleep? Like, is there anything you try to do consciously to help recover? Because we talk so much about what we do in the gym, but what do you like doing outside of the gym that you think maybe helps your recovery process come back the next day?
I mean, I just focus on sleep. I don't.
Yeah.
I could be a lot better at recovery and taking rest days, and I don't know. But sometimes I want to move. So maybe you guys have some suggestions.
Move like.
I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to sit still for a whole day. Like,
Okay, so do you go for walks, or do you like clear your mind and stuff, or you're bouncing around
go to
just
the gym at home.
Okay.
Yeah. And just like lift, sometimes I'll like lift muscle groups when I'm on my own, just because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will walk or I'll do stairs and stuff like that. But yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think sometimes if it's a mental portion to it, then hell yeah. And honestly, to me that's active recovery. As long as the intensity isn't there, just stay moving, right?
Yeah, it feels good.
I think one of the most important things with recovery, like, people overthink it way too fucking much. It's like, well, you got to stretch, you got to smash this, and then you got to do activation exercises and stuff like that. And really, for me, what recovery comes down to is relaxing you. And so if relaxing you, if some more movement, lifting some muscle groups, getting a pump, if that's relaxing to you, then that works. If I go do yoga, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, and it's not gonna be relaxing. It's not gonna aid my recovery because I'm gonna be fucking pissed the whole time. You know what I mean? So like,
better not be any photo evidence either.
No, that's a good way of putting it. Like, it can be anything.
I mean, the whole goal is trying to get, where does recovery happen? Parasympathetic. So doing things that do not relax you are not going to help you recover.
Well, especially if you look from a standpoint like if okay, hey, I'm tight here, my hips are tight. Well, do you really need to spash out or whatever? I know for myself, like, if my hips get tight, I'm like, well, I'm just going to move a little bit, do some cyclical squats, get some blood pumping my booty, and all of a sudden my hips free up, and I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Here we go.
That's all I
think
needed.
a lot of that goes back to just continually learning too.
Oh, for sure. Once you tune into your body, then you know what to do.
I think going out and pursuing people that you see are, whether it's physically in better shape or they're just perform better, and just asking them questions, or whether you're just learning it through a class you're taking, whatever knowledge you're pursuing, I think it's good to continually learn, because not one thing that works for someone else is always going to work for you, but pursuing different options and trying them is where we're going to find success. And maybe we fail along the way, but you're going to find different options.
Oh, you have to fail, otherwise you ain't going to fucking know it works.
And when it comes to recovery, there's so many different options. Like talking about the lifting thing, Allie, I have a few friends that are bodybuilders, and a lot of times you hear people doing their morning cardio, walking uphill or doing the Stairmaster or whatever. And some of my friends that have been successful at it, they do a really lightweight, full body workout every morning for like an hour, 45 minutes, or their cardio calls for, and that's their cardio.
Those
really
work
light.
well. I call them body flushes. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, it works. And I know, Stairmaster. Oh God, I was on there like 3 weeks ago.
You did Stairmaster?
I know, it's terrible. At Lifetime.
Were you wearing Lulu?
Oh yeah.
Who are you becoming?
Dude, I did it because Drew made me. But I tell you what, when I was done, I was like, I feel all right. I did the executive, as you call it, afterwards. I felt like $1 million.
It does feel good, yeah. And if you do the Stairmaster, it's obviously going to help, yeah.
Yeah,
it just takes a while to build up your strength.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You guys make me feel better than that.
No, stay moving. I used to be the guy like, I'm recovering, I'm not gonna move at all, and that'd be fucking way more sore. That's for me, right?
I myself too. It fucks with my head for the next day of training.
Then you feel like, for sure.
I don't think you said something really important there. I don't think no one's ever necessarily doing it wrong. It's just figuring out, things that don't work for you until it works for you. So I think just because you're doing something different doesn't mean it's wrong at all. Like the friends that I have that do the active lifting in the morning, the what do you call it, the active flush?
I call it body flush.
Body flush.
That's
there
what
you go,
I call
hashtag. So you coined it. You bought the website.
Mine.
So the body flush is, even though no one was really popularizing it or doing it, I'd see them in the morning sometimes before work at the gym there. I'm like, wait, didn't you just lift that last night but heavier? Like, oh yeah, I come in every morning and I just get a good 45 minutes in and just flush the body. It works.
Dude, it works. You get a little blood flow to all those muscles, all those tendons, everything just kind of loosen up. They reset. It does definitely help get rid of, that soreness.
And I'm guessing a lot of times too, it's probably like that mind clearance too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mind release, where you're able to feel better, right?
Yeah, I think that's more than anything.
Yeah.
Just like clarity.
Well, and especially if you're someone who lifts heavy often or anything like that, if you just go in and just, light weights, focus on movement, feel the tissue, get a mini little pump in, I mean, it goes a long, long way.
I like that. I feel better.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what we try to do here. We're a healing podcast. So what else? What else do you love doing? What else is when you're not lifting weights? Or let's go back to this real quick. Your sleeping patterns. You said you wish you're a little bit better, this or that. Do you try to hit a certain number of hours a night, or are you pretty religious at getting good sleep? Or it sounds like you're pretty active. How does that work for you in your sleep schedule?
I've just been super fortunate. So I switched jobs this fall, and now I don't start work until late in the afternoon. So I just
Oh, nice.
I don't use an alarm anymore.
Oh, that's
It's
amazing.
nice just to let my body do its thing rather than trying to regulate it. Like I'll sleep if I need to sleep. You know what I mean? Sometimes
That's
I do.
gotta
like
be
a good-
key. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's like close to 10 hours, but
Yeah.
like I'm feeling good. Like my sleep has gotten significantly better with
Oh,
gym.
that's
So I think now
huge.
that I'm not like training as much and as rigid in other things in my life, like the sleep has gotten so much better.
So
That's huge. That's something I'll tell athletes, like you can tell they're bogged down. I'm like, just if you don't have anything going on a Saturday or Sunday, don't set your fucking alarm. Your body will tell you when it needs to get up.
Yeah, just have a day.
Just have a day. Well, then my sleep schedule will off. No, just Jesus Christ. Take one fucking day and sleep in. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Even if you're still up early.
I think we're too worried about people sticking to schedules. Sorry, it's a
Yeah.
pet peeve of mine.
So, Allie, do you feel like your performance, since you took that job change and you were able to sleep with no alarm, do you feel like your gym performance has improved too, besides just your physique and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's all been a progression. I mean, things have gotten better in different respects. Like, my training style has changed so much that I'm not necessarily pushing the weight anymore. So
Yeah.
that used to be the way that I measured everything, and I'm gonna have to like readjust my mindset that like the progress is happening in other ways, and it certainly has. Like, I feel a hell of a lot better, and I'm moving better, and like technique is getting better. So
That's
yeah.
huge. So outside of the gym, what are some other interests in the synchronized swimming you coach during the season?
Yeah.
What else are your interests in life? What kind of gets you away for the mental healing or enjoyment of life when you're not lifting, if there is anything?
I know that I'm gonna sound like the most boring person ever, but I don't know. Like besides like work and training and stuff, like I like to be alone. Like I don't like people very much, so I get my fix from work and with coaching and stuff like that. So
okay.
like
Yeah,
I fucking
yeah.
love napping, and I love like not talking to people and like being left alone and having like my own space. So like,
Oh my
literally,
God,
like,
That's
just-
respectable,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not kidding.
Music
like,
to
it-
me.
It sounds like,
Refreshing.
it sounds refreshing.
Wait, there's more of you out there?
Yeah.
You're
More
like-
people like you and me, Ty.
Yeah, we're that way.
When you think about like, it's like Batman, like that was his life kind of, right? I mean, he was always ready to perform.
Oh man, have you seen the Lego Batman?
Now I'm talking about.
Oh my God! Sorry, you gotta watch it. Alfred tries to get him to have a life. He's like, I'm a dark, sinister hero. I love to be alone. Anyway, sorry, tangent.
No, that's good. I made a ridiculous correlation as well. I was trying to think of, but no, when you think about like, just being alone by yourself, and then, damn it, I gotta save the world again. Put in your lifting suit and go lift.
Well, no, and there's another point to that too. Me and Nick talk about this because
Yeah.
depending on your job, when you can, like, for me and him, for what we do, you give yourself all day to people. You answer 1,000 different questions. Coaching, memberships. It doesn't matter what job you do, but if you're in customer service in any way, shape, or form, or I think most jobs, it's a lot of human, communications, interactions. Right. By the end of the day, fuck, I don't got anything left. I just want to eat, drone out, get all parasympathetic, and have a
Coaching's
whiskey.
like that, it's an emotional thing.
It very, because especially when you love doing it and you care,
Yep.
it takes way more out of you. If I was just going to something and clocking in and out at Walmart,
It'd
I
be
probably
different
wouldn't care.
problems.
Right? Yeah. I just hate.
There'd be problems.
Yeah.
They'd just be different.
So I think that's. I think that being said, I think it's huge. As some people, I wouldn't look at it as a bad thing. I think it's just who you are, and not that you did look at it as a bad thing, but that's how you kind of reset.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
a little introverted.
Yeah.
Possibly, I don't know. Maybe I need a hobby or something.
No, that's
No, I
that's
think
great.
it's fine. I think so often people get caught up on like, well, I should be like this, well, I should be like that.
Be who
There's-
you are. Who gives
There's
a-
people, there's people that really enjoy social interaction and that recharges them, and then there's people that like their alone time and that recharges them. And I happen to be one of those people. It sounds like you're kind of one of those people too.
Yeah.
And that's just, I want to be bored. Like if I go on vacation, I don't want to do all the things. I want to get to the point where I'm bored and I want to go back to work. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to be whatever you are.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we are too many times trying to be someone we're not, maybe. Yeah. Rather just accepting the fact that, hey, maybe I just don't like fucking people after 9 p.m. That's okay.
Like if you're a passionate coach or like whatever you're doing, if you put a lot of yourself into it, at the end of the day, you have very little like, it's like really fulfilling, but at the same time, it's really draining. So then it's like you take that time to recharge, and I think then you hit it the next day.
It's almost rewarding the point too, where like you love what you do so much that you've earned the opportunity that you just want to be alone. Yeah. Like it's a positive. This doesn't have to be a negative connotation behind coaching. It can just be a very positive thing. Yeah. That you love it so much. You study a lot of times when you're not in front of people, right? You're studying to do this and that. You're learning more about this and that, how you can help that person. And when you see all those things come to fruition, then you're so happy to have that time alone because you get to recharge and come back and bring that same energy the next day. So
well, that's the thing too. That's the sacrifice I think coaches make, and you have to. If you're a good coach, you owe that to the world. What are you gonna do? Give it up? Hell no.
I don't think it's a sacrifice. I think it's a privilege.
Well, no, both. But I'm saying is if you're sacrificing like your time that much and that much drive and how much of your passion to give to your athletes, then you owe it to them. Is my point.
No, absolutely. But I think it's perspective. I wouldn't look at it as a sacrifice. If you truly love it and it's what you want to do, you just, as much as it may suck once in a while, you got to look at it as a privilege.
For sure.
It can't be. I don't know. Just my mindset. I could be wrong.
No, it's a really positive way to look at it.
Yeah.
But okay, Ellie, back to you. And, so, what are you looking towards for the future for yourself? Is it a weightlifting meet because you've never done one now, or do you just want to? Is it just kind of see where it takes you in training, or?
Yeah, I think to see where it takes me. Like it's nice to be at a point where I can just like enjoy the training and not have like a competition looming ahead. So right now I'm enjoying it, I guess, until I get that like itch to train again. I went through a phase where I was like, I would finish one competition, say I'm going to take a break and like register for one the next week or whatever. So there was a point in time where I was like that. Right now I'm just enjoying it, and it's kind of fun. I feel like I potentially weightlifting. I had reached out to Nick too about some like local shows, but I gotta get my shit together before I do that. And you freaked me out with like the like it's quick and like I don't know, like you need to be on top of it. And
warm-ups and weightlifting are significantly different than warm-ups and powerlifting.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We're strongman for that matter.
We have a clan doing a meet here in May. Our group over at Derwin's at Spartacus.
I think.
Email him.
Yeah.
Him and I.
Oh, have you?
I called him like a legend with like a winged face, but he probably didn't. I don't, because you told me he was one, right?
He is a legend.
Oh, Derwin?
Derwin doesn't.
Oh, Derwin's the shit.
My understanding, he doesn't want that spotlight, right?
No. What do you mean? As far as a coach?
She said that she called him a legend, and Derwin doesn't do like social media. Or
no, he doesn't. He's old school, but he's to me probably one of the best coaches in the country and the nation. But most people don't know about him because he doesn't put himself out there.
Yeah. Cool.
But no, I would say definitely we'll have our group go down there and compete in May.
Yeah.
More than welcome to join.
I just want to like feel like I'm ready, like.
Just go watch, drink it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too. Like I still have like the crazy like competitiveness and that I don't want to like do it to do it and to say I did a weight. Like I want to do it well, so I feel like I gotta like I said get my shit together. But we'll see. Who knows where I'll be at in a couple.
They're a lot of fun. It's one of those things where I know most people like I have to do that and they're really scared. Like one of my lifters, she's like, wait a minute, I have to do lifts in front of people? She had no idea. I'm like, yup, let's go. Yeah. But after she did it, she's like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I've never had anyone have a bad experience.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think coming from powerlifting, you're going to get done with your lifts. You're like, that's it?
No, for sure. You're like, I'm
like
done.
Powerlifting meets last all day long, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, it's a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're done in 2 hours.
Yeah, you're
tops.
in and out quick.
Yeah,
well,
it's quick.
And that's a great point you brought up, too, because I think a lot of time, and I love your answer, that you kind of get, maybe it sounds like worn or spent or worn out by continuously signing up for meets and meets and meets, where I think when you truly take a step back, take a deep breath, and train because you love training, go so much farther. Not that meet after meet is a bad thing, but I think when you take a deep breath and you maybe do pull yourself back and do one meet every couple of years or something, and you find like your passion for love of the sport is, those nervous butterflies when you're driving to go work out on a Thursday afternoon, or when you're going to meet some friends for an awesome lifting session together on Saturday morning. Something like that sometimes goes a lot further than always doing a meet just to do a meet. But there's two different thoughts in that, because it goes a lot of pride and put yourself in the line, your name in the line when you go compete all the time too. So there's two sides to that.
For sure, and that's one of those things too. You have to get comfortable competing. So if you want to be competitive at anything, you don't want to burn yourself out. You need to just get used to competing.
Or do you have to be comfortable competing? I'm giving you all types of different things today.
If you're not, you have to be able to thrive.
Yes.
No matter if you're uncomfortable, nervous, not nervous. I think that really depends on the person.
Yeah.
But I think as long as if you can thrive at competition, however you got to get there.
I think competing at the stage in life that we're at is a little bit different than it was when you were doing synchronized swimming, when I was playing college ball, and you guys playing college ball. And it's nice to be able to say that, like, hey, I don't want to compete for a little bit. I want to have a little bit of an off season, and I want that fire back before I actually get out there and compete.
Well, the cool thing too that I saw Martins Lises talk about after his second place finish at the Arnold Strongman competition was he talked about afterwards, kind of interviewed him privately or whatever, and on his YouTube video, he was saying that he was just shaking and nervous, and his biggest fear was placing 10th. He didn't think in the back of his mind, he hoped he could finish top 3, but his biggest fear was he didn't think he had a shot against Thor. You know what I mean? So like, it's kind of that, instead of being comfortable, you force yourself to so bad that you're uncomfortable, it just brings it the best. So there's two different ways to look at everything, but it was cool to hear your perspective, then think about what he had said, and it just kind of goes back to your personality.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, sometimes like you talk about off season. That's something we started implementing here, is just so people don't have to worry about competition so much. Let's just focus on just getting better, no matter what it is. And once you take that pressure off someone, all of a sudden you see all these. They're like, "Why did I PR that? We've barely been doing it."
Yeah.
Well, because for some people, the pressure is, I have to get better today. No, let's just like totally go into the process rather than worrying about, what's on the bar or whatever it may be. I think you have to find what works for your athletes or for you, but once you do, then that's where you really see the magic. Because I think for strongman or any competition, they kind of do so many competitions a year, but they always have that one big one a year in mind, right? The other ones are just kind of practice, is the way I look at it.
Absolutely, and I feel like too, when you start competing a lot, I don't know if you guys notice this with your athletes, but you start to get into your own head. So sometimes the only way to quiet that is to fucking just step back and to not compete. I'm so analytical in everything I do that that's why weightlifting too has been helpful, because it gives me something to fixate on that's a little bit more productive than oh fuck, that's 5 pounds less than last week on my deadlift, and obsess over that. Instead I can obsess over my form or my hips or my extension or whatever. But I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I think that's a healthy outlet for you, and that's I think that's good.
Well, another thing too, with exactly what you said is right on point. In today's world of social media, did you really lift if you didn't post it on Instagram?
Right.
Are people gonna?
It's not real.
Right.
That's I think it's a joke at most gyms now, but that's something I hit a PR, you didn't fucking videotape it, doesn't matter. Jokingly, obviously.
Yeah. It kind of brings you back to, like you said, getting the mental aspect of where everything's so intense and so, energized when you're doing strongman or powerlifting, and then you pull yourself back. It's almost going from another sport of football or hockey or basketball into baseball, where all of a sudden you're slow thinking, you're approaching, you have a mental approach to everything you're doing. As in weightlifting, everything slows down, you think through it, you do a lot of visualization, not that you do in other sports, but I think there is a sense of calming energy that comes with the weightlifting that might be very, fitting to kind of your lifestyle outside of weightlifting right now. That might be the perfect forces combining.
Well, I think too that sorry, this is kind of with the topic but off topic. I think that's I don't know, we'll see. But I think that's a huge thing with any. Well, with any athlete, no matter what the movement is, whether it's O-line for us or baseball or Olympic weightlifter, you almost want to get to what we call a flow state, to where you don't even know that you're doing it, but you're doing it, and you're reactive, and all of a sudden it just becomes part of you. That movement, no matter what it is. And I think whether it's ritualistic or breathing or whatever the fuck it is, once you get there as an athlete, you're there. And I know for us, some of the best training sessions we've had here at Torque is honestly, us talking a bunch of shit, having fun, cranking old outlaw country, and then all of a sudden when someone's going for a weight though, what do we all do? Doesn't matter. We turn our heads and we all fucking yell at each other, like, let's go. Yeah. And I mean, again, it doesn't matter what the sport is or what you're trying to do, but I think once you find that atmosphere and kind of find your niche with it, that's where cool shit happens.
When I was playing baseball, and I'm sure synchronized swimming was very similar, that it was like, speaking about getting into your own head, there was like rituals, like you mentioned, around certain things, and like some things just seemed like they were just based on like the routine that you went through before. You know what I mean? It was like you're connecting your success in that sport to some stupid fucking thing that you ate before or that you did before. You know what I mean? The way that you put your socks on, or like stupid shit like that, you know, starts to creep into your head, and you start to get kind of lost in there.
Yeah.
Well, how do you turn that off? What do you guys?
So, well, I think that's kind of what we're talking about is being able to take a step back, because when you have that constant pressure of like, you go out and you compete, especially baseball, 162 game season, or college ball, you're playing games back to back to back, and you have these ups and these downs, and you don't have a choice to step back. You have to keep going, and you get to a point where it's like, well, you know, like you're just so lost in your head. It's like, well, the last time I was successful, I did this, so fuck everything else. Like, if nothing else works, I'm gonna do this and like see if that works. You know what I mean? You start to get connected on these things and play head games with yourself. And really, what matters, or what's gonna help make you successful, is getting to that flow state and being able to move through it naturally, rather than being so rigid and like, I have to do this if this isn't my routine. If I didn't do this, then I'm not gonna be successful, and just completely mind fucking yourself.
Well, because what you're doing is you're freezing.
Yeah.
There's no fight left in you. Like, you're basically going in the opposite direction what you need to go to be successful. Well, and that's one thing, you don't know you're there till it happens. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it.
I have.
Yeah.
Kind of along the same way with what you guys are talking about, and also what Allie's talking about, and finding that off switch, but also still developing yourself, learning, and finding that flow state. One of the biggest benefits I found within college athletics was watching film, whether it was, you know, we used to call it the wide angle, where you watch the offensive, defensive line from the end zone angle. So you got to see yourself up close and personal, whether it was a game film, and let's say this, it was a practice film during the week, and you and the other 6-7 guys in your position group are in a quiet room, the lights turns off, your O-line coach or D-line coach has the marker, and he's pressing play rewind, and the TV screen is on, and you're watching every move you're making. So you're kind of doing the visualization as you're watching yourself, but there's also this part of you where you're not going to get embarrassed on film. So, I mean, you're going to make sure during every rep in practice that you're filmed, you know, everything is, you know, coming to that flow state where you know your 6-inch step to the left. You know when to shoot your hands. You know when to move your eyes here, move your eyes there. And everything you're watching on film, you bring over into the game on hopefully Saturday or Sunday, and then the same thing happens. You watch film again on Sunday or Monday night with your coach and the same players in the film room. Is everything just seems to follow and flow because you've practiced it all week, and it's almost to this state of memorization, and you've seen in your head, but also the pride that you're not going to be the one wink link of 11 that's going to let everybody down. So it's that makes any sense, kind of the correlation that I see, where it makes me think about, like, I wonder if gyms, like either gym you go to or here or whatever, if people came in for a training session and all of a sudden you had the same setup where, guys, we filmed everything this week or the day before, we're going to sit down, we're just going to break everything down. Just sit down, we're going to break it down, take a break, just grab your favorite seat, relax, and let's just break these down technique by technique, however you want to do it. I think that might be a fresh...
I actually kind of like that
$1 million idea. Anthony, edit that out.
yeah. But doesn't, I mean, just to reset your body, reset your mind, and just also, it grows, I think, a lot of trust, knowing that your coach puts that much effort and want to and belief in you and your movements, that it also puts a lot in you where you're comfortable enough to, hey, I'm going to be coached and called out in front of some of my team members or partner, whatever you call them, teammates in this gym, but also I get a chance to educate myself on my movements, or I might learn from the way that you're doing them. I never really saw before, but because I'm watching it on film now in a different setting, like a learning setting, you're open to see more that can influence you in a positive way. This could all be bullshit. But
No,
in my
no,
mind,
no,
I was
that's-
so useful to me in college.
Yeah.
And,
It was useful to
and
me
pros,
too.
I just
That was-
imagine it was the same
That was the
here.
biggest
That's
thing
a-
for me is coming from high school to college and all of a sudden watching myself after every practice.
Yeah.
That was crazy because you didn't know you did those things wrong.
Yeah.
You had no fucking
Yeah,
idea
that's
until you
what I
all of a sudden
mean.
started watching it.
That's a
And
big accountability
Yeah,
tool.
exactly.
Yeah.
You have something, that you're going to have somebody to answer to.
Yeah, especially when even watching it and you see someone else fuck up. And I just remember Bergie rewinding, playing back, rewind, play back. And you're just, everyone sees the problem and you're just waiting for, oh, fuck.
Well, a lot of times, nothing had to be said. Because
Yeah,
it might have
'cause you
just
know.
been a look, it might have just been, and and as pissed off as you are at yourself, you take a deep breath, and you can just take a deep breath, and you'll carry it out later. But sometimes it's that inner drive that you need to see on film that sometimes pushes you more than doing it yourself that day and
Dude,
putting your body through the pain.
I fucking missed that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have brought that up.
I'm saying it's an
I missed that.
opportunity to maybe provide it in some sort of training or coaching
Yeah,
technique,
I
right?
missed the hell
An
out of that.
opportunity.
Do you feel like
So-
you get any of that from like posting your videos, like watching yourself lift?
Oh, absolutely. Because sometimes like things will feel weird, and we're like,
Yeah.
what's going on, and to see it like takes away. I don't know, because usually when shit's going wrong and you're feeling it, it's frustrating. But when you can see it on video, it's easier to like pinpoint it and
Yeah.
make the adjustment. So absolutely, I think it's kind of like the out of body thing where you like see it more neutrally and you're like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
my hips or whatever. So no, absolutely, I think the video is incredibly helpful. Yeah.
And I think at first too, it doesn't always have to be like like an extreme version, not called extreme, but I think like having everyone's opinion on Instagram or Facebook or whatever doesn't need to be done. Like when you post stuff on there, that's great because you want to be proud of what you've done and even show some failures. But I think more of the setting too is just around your peers who you're with every day, those people that you've earned the trust and sweat and blood with, or your coaches who put that much into you. I think it comes to a point where sometimes it's more respectful to put that up with just you 10 people in the room, and let's really take a look at this with open eyes, and then just look at it. And it's humbling too. As
Oh,
rewarding as
definitely.
can be.
I feel like that's like a whole nother like rabbit hole to go down with like the social media and like this
Yeah.
obnoxiousness of it.
Yeah. Do you feel like for you, do you feel like it's something you enjoy doing, or because it's popular right now, you succumb to the pressure? What's your rabbit hole story on this?
I don't know. I just mean like you could go a million directions.
No,
Yeah,
you
I
could,
feel like
you
there's
could,
more than
but
just that.
it is,
Like,
there is more, yes.
There's more than just those two.
Yeah.
I think some people are out there trying to document their journey, and some people,
Which is
love
okay,
to-
too.
Yeah, and we're all proud about the things
Yeah.
that we do. And of course, there's like, the close-up ass and slash taint shot with a Bible verse in the, you know what I mean? It's like, there's that too, but
It's IG, man. There's
slash
everything
ass
on there.
slash taint, a little bit of both.
This would be an X-rated podcast.
No, I think that is a good thing about the one good thing about Instagram is it does show someone's journey,
Yeah.
which is really cool. But then like anything, you're gonna have haters or people who are trolls or coaching Instagram experts. I think they know something, but fuck them. Who cares? Who cares what people think?
Well, that's just one way to look at it too.
Yeah.
There's different ways. I think there's like a quote unquote learning environment from people that you trust and rely
Yeah,
on, and there's
definitely.
one where you just throw it out there to throw it out there because it is who cares, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two different versions of that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're all going to interpret it in different ways, and I feel like I feel like it can be used in an effective way, and it can have like a positive ripple effect.
For sure.
It sounds stupid to like use the word inspiring, but I feel like there is some sort of positive motivation that can come from it. So I think that
Yeah.
you can utilize it in a positive way. It's just unfortunately because it's like so intertwined in our livelihood that
Absolutely.
it gets obnoxious too.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
The,
Except for there in Huddle, you gotta like everything
Yeah.
we've
Yeah,
said.
because everything we do is awesome.
The really challenging thing about that too is that we could all four look at the same thing and interpret it different because of the life experiences that we have, maybe the mood that we're in at that point in time.
It's
Maybe
very true.
Something happened earlier in that day and it strikes a chord with us. So there's so many variables that go into that online stuff, which I think just goes to show that it's so important to just do your own journey
Yeah.
and let them think what they want to think about it, because like we said earlier, you never know where somebody was at earlier in the day, You know, like one of my favorite quotes, like we could all throw our problems in a pile and look at everybody else's problem and like, oh fuck, give me that back. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
there's just we couldn't possibly know what everybody else is going through.
So
And it's like unavoidable. It's just a part of you receive it how you want.
Yeah.
It's gonna be out there, and
For sure.
yeah.
So with that, Allie Palm, what would you say to anybody who is looking to make a change to start strength training, or looking to make a change to try something off the gym? From your journey, whether it was right after college or going from one sport to another, what would your advice to that person be?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're fortunate to live in a time when there's like so many varieties of fitness, right? Like you can do a million things, so it's just finding the one that speaks to you and like the one that fucking lights you up and makes you happy. And so figuring out what you like and something that you want to do every day or frequently, or just gives you that fulfillment, and then just cultivate that. So just find something that fucking inspires you in terms of fitness and feel good from it. And I think that my hopes is that, you know, then people too can have that same like snowball effect of like positive things to come from it, just like self-betterment. When you find something that makes you happy, I think that fitness has the capacity to do that, like strengthens you up from the inside out. A lot of times because you're building that mental grit, and you're feeling good, and the adrenaline and everything that comes from it, it's so much more than just moving weight. So I just tell people to find something you fucking love and do it.
Yeah, that's what I love about your Iron story, because we kind of coined the term Iron story. I don't know, maybe. Well, I'm saying we did, but
Sure it's been around before.
but no, because the way you said it is how you all of a sudden training kind of reset the button on your life and who you wanted to be. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the coolest things any facet of strength conditioning can do for anyone, no matter what you're doing, whether it's triathlons, strongman, whatever. I think that's something as coaches we always seek to find people like that, because it's definitely way more fulfilling. And that's why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's not about PRs or anything. Like, that's why we coach. So it's really cool to hear a story about it. So
Build yourself, like, not only athletically, but like your whole self.
Hell yeah, exactly.
It's awesome. So if people want to follow you and see what you're doing and be inspired, where can they find you on Instagram or on Facebook? What's your best way for people to find you?
This is where I do like at.
If you have an at, yeah, what is it?
I feel stupid.
What's your AOL Instant Messenger?
No, it's just Allie Palm. That Allie Palm.
At the Allie Palm?
The
Yes.
Allie Palm.
At the Allie Palm. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then you also train over at Horsepower. You should some credit to them and your coach.
As far as strength
And hopefully we have your coach on here soon too, because we've heard a lot of good things from
You guys
Melissa
should. He'd be okay.
and now you. Yeah, that'd be awesome to do that. You guys, anything else? Otherwise, we'll
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you for coming. That was awesome.
Yeah.